folks, this is what you have to look forward to because these are leftists, these are idiots, and the problem is, at least in Memphis, people vote based on skin color and whether or not a person is a Democrat. And that's how they get elected. I'll give you another example. So Memphis has a county commission. I told you it was a weird day in my hometown. One of the county commissioners, Henry Brooks, very upset that we have something in this nation called President's Day. And Henry Brooks said we should not have President's Day because President's Day is racist, I say. Cut 7.
But let me just say this. Considering the fact that this was actually George Washington's birthday, and I think I made it very clear in committee that I could not honor George Washington and a number of other presidents for a number of obvious reasons. The first being the fact that he's one of many slaveholders. They were presidents, but if we're going to honor his history and his legacy, let's not cherry pick and whitewash. Let's put it all on the table. Slavery was legal in this country from its beginning as a nation, having been practiced in North America from early colonial days. 12 presidents, U.S. presidents, owned, enslaved, bought, and bred enslaved persons at some point in their lives. Of these 12 presidents, 8 of them owned slaves while in the presidency. 10 of the first 12 American presidents owned slaves, the only exceptions being 10 of the first 12. The only exceptions being John Adams and his son, John Quincy Adams, neither of whom approved of slavery.
Who you calling
George Washington was first president, we all know, who owned slaves, including while he was president. Zachary Taylor was the last one who owned slaves during his presidency. And Ulysses S. Grant was the last president to own enslaved persons in his life, at some point in his life.
Commissioner Brooks, you're actually out of time.
Okay,
Do you want to get back into the queue?
I got one more sentence, ma'am. If you would indulge the senior member of this body, I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay, of these presidents who owned slaves, Thomas Jefferson owned the most, 600 plus, followed closely by George Washington, 200 plus. Madam Chair, what I would love to do, because I want to support this, but I want to support it in a way that everyone, and I know I'm not the only person that has this sentiment. So I'd like to propose an amendment, a friendly amendment, to change this name to a countywide general, families, friends, and employees holiday.
Is he a moron? This is Commissioner Henry Brooks, and now wanting to ban President's Day and call it Family, Friends, and Pals Day. This is what you have to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're talking about. This is the nonsense that happens when you don't get out and vote on the local level. You got people like Yolanda and Henry, who's a woman, by the way, Henry Brooks. Let's go to Ray in Tennessee, listening to us on WTJS. Hi, Ray. What's on your mind?
Hey, Todd. Well, glad you're back, first of all.
Thank you.
Guest, but I don't know. You're kind of like Rush. The guests are never as good as you are,
Well, you're kind to say that, Ray. I don't think my guest hosts are going to appreciate it, but thank you, Ray.
I wanted to point out that, Memphis used to have their own city school system, and it was so badly managed that with a little encouragement from the state, they gave it back to the county to run.
That is true, and now the whole thing's a mess.
Well, I guess they messed up the rest of the county. But I want to point out one thing. There's a black woman that's been running. Her name's Charlotte Bergman. She's been running for Steve Cohen's seat for a long time. I call Steve Cohen Kentucky Fried Cohen. I think you know why.
He's finger licking crazy is why, Ray. I like that though. Kentucky Fried Cohen. I like that.
Well, he's the one that he's the one during for something against Trump. He sat down there and ate Kentucky Fried Chicken in front of the cameras, you know. But Charlotte Bergman's been running against him for some time. Last election at least, I've donated to her campaign, and she's a black Republican lady. And it sure would be nice if she could get elected, get some common sense into at least in our national government from Memphis.
Ray, yes, and I know Charlotte. She is a friend, and she has run a number of times against Congressman Cohen, Congressman KFC, as you so eloquently stated there. I think she would be a terrific pick. The question is, will Republicans get out and support her campaign? And the numbers have been pretty. I mean, it's a heavily Democrat district, so it's an uphill climb. That being said, this is the moment, this is the opportunity that Republicans have, because this economy and inflation is through the roof, and it is especially impacting working class families. And so if there's a way the Republicans can get that messaging out there, she might have a chance. Ray, gotta run. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the kind words. Lynn wants to weigh in on Yolanda. Hi, Lynn. What's going on?
Thank you for letting me come on. I'll make it real short, Todd. Vivek Ramaswamy, remember the individual that ran for president?
Yes, sir.
When he came over here, he did a lot of studying. I think he ended up in South Carolina, but he did a lot of, just trying to find out about his country. And he found an interesting factoid that I've never heard the media mention, that in that period of time, before mechanized machinery and all that, obviously there were a lot of slaves, but there were a lot of black slave owners. And for her to rail on the past presidents owning slaves is really totally off the wall.
Well, it's absolutely, Lynn, you're absolutely right, and thank you for keeping it pithy, because that music means we've got to skedaddle, but you are absolutely right. Not only did blacks own slaves in America, but there were Africans that were selling their own people into slavery. They don't want to talk about that part of history, and I think we ought to tell it all, good, bad, and ugly, everything together.